Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Renegades Ramble, live on YouTube from Primordic Studios. Oh,
do it again. Why does it always do that?
Your phone is too loud.
Good one, Ron. Good one.
Sorry for breaking your intro.
No, it's fine, dude. Hey, I'm used to shit fucking up on me.
That's the point of this channel. Is
yes, it is.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Not
I miss Scenanners. I haven't watched this channel in a while. Hello, Internet. Welcome back to yet another episode of Renegades Ramble, live from Primordic Studio. As always, I am sitting here on this very comfortable set couch, and sitting beside me, we have Jacob.
Thank you.
We have Roan.
How's it going?
And sitting over here to my right, looking ever so stoic with his driving gloves. Are those driving gloves?
Not really. They're just...
Those are his murder gloves.
Yeah. Someone call OJ. But yeah, here's Nick as well.
Nick pisses me off here in a minute.
Yeah, Ghost, we got production value. We actually were here last week. We're gonna try and we're making this a weekly thing, so hopefully more and more people start showing up, and we're able to entertain you as best we can. I don't know how that's going to work, but damn it, we're gonna try. So, hey, blind effort. It works somehow. All right.
Timer set.
Oh yeah, let me do that. We're gonna try and go a decent length, not anything ridiculous. So I'm gonna set it for 1 hour and 30 minutes, starting now. Okay, so
the first episode was just like the pilot. That's longer than all the others.
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours of us just bullshitting.
It was like a mini-series.
Yeah, 2.5 hours of us bullshitting, and that's awesome. You're professionals, damn it. That's right, Ghost. That's right. You are right about that. Hey, Jean Arc hoodie, nice. Who's
me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's what I said earlier. You didn't hear me.
Sorry.
You didn't acknowledge me.
My brain's all over the place right now. Yeah. Roan is as we specified last week. Roan, big Ruby fan. So, are you keeping up with Ruby Season 6 right now?
Fuck yeah, I am.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
You're doing better than we are, because Micah has been with us since the very beginning, and I didn't want to continue it without him, which we might do. I don't know, because I don't know when Micah's coming back. I don't know if he ever will. I hope he does. I really hope he does. But
Trouble in
I'm gonna
Paradise.
have to catch up with it again to be able to do that.
Yeah, me and Nick, we've been watching a lot of anime here recently. He's never seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is considered by many to be one of like the best anime series of all time. And
I just learned this man hasn't watched Attack on Titan yet.
Boo! Boo this man! Nah, don't boo this man.
No, there's a lot of stuff I'm behind on nowadays. I mean,
so have you seen Evangelion?
I have not.
Has anyone here?
I honestly haven't. I went into a whole big anime phase for a while, and then I kind of gradually fell off, and so I haven't got around to watching
There's
all the
too much
big
stuff
things.
to watch nowadays.
There is.
It's so easy to access nowadays.
There's so much media in the world that it would be
Fortunately,
physically impossible to even watch a fraction of it before you die. So.
Fortunately, all of our jobs are going to be automated in like 10 years, so we'll have plenty of time.
Oh yeah, everything's going to be automated. We're pretty much going to have everything automated in there to where. To where our producer in there won't be required to push the buttons and everything. She's leering at me over the
turn the knob.
Yeah, just give me the devil horns and everything. So we're back here in Primordic Studios, and we are. What this podcast is just us basically rambling and just having fun, trying not to be as awkward as possible, and failed immaculately with our intro right there. Because of Roan's phone just coming active and just fucking everything up.
I'll just blame it on Siri.
No, actually, you can blame it on me because it was my voice that fucked you up.
Oh,
so that's actually a self fuck up. I fucked myself. Good God, it's my life in a nutshell right there. So it's like, who's your worst enemy? I see him every time I look in the mirror. It's like, yeah, that's me. That's me basically. So. And interestingly, Ben, our compadre, who wanted to be here but actually fell down the stairs. Actually, Nick, you want to tell this story? You told it to me.
I was going over to the house, and I had brought my PlayStation, and I set it down on the porch to be able to unlock the door. And so I put my key in the door, and I turn it, and I'm like, oh, it's unlocked. And about that time, like, I hear and see, like shadow, like, just go down into the thing and inside the, like, door window, because it's, like, one of those kind of glass panes you can't really see through very well. And I hear, like, I barely opened the door and it wouldn't go any further. And, like, I heard, like, a thud and stuff. I was like, oh, shit, what happened, And I hear Kyra go, what happened? And Ben's just going, oh, God. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I missed a step. Apparently, like, Ben missed a step, like, all the way up to the top and took Kyra with him down the stairs.
Yeah, and
so Kyra was, like, pretty okay, and Ben was just very, very, very sore, apparently.
Well, very sore. He dislocated one of his shoulders. He's double jointed, so it happens all the time. And he bruised up his leg really bad. Like, he had a really bad, like pump bruise right here, about that big around.
And he showed us last night, and I was like, it looks like somebody beamed you with a baseball.
Yeah. And, well, yeah, that's one reason why he's not here, so he's recovering from that. And
if I'd have been a little quicker about going in the door, I probably would have gotten mowed down.
Y'all have probably been out on the front porch in like a pile of bodies, and you just been like, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
All right, this is a sign I shouldn't come over here anymore.
Just step around.
Apparently, I'm gonna get killed as soon as I open the front door now.
Well, yeah, there you go. That's our motif, man.
Yeah, and I told Ben I wouldn't make the
you
stereotypical Homestuck joke, and he was like, "Thank you." I wanted to be like, "I warned you about stairs, bro."
Ham steak.
Yeah.
Oh, the ham steaks. So, yeah, it's just been a weird week. I've had a lot of it was Thanksgiving week last week.
Yep, got that over with.
Oh God. How many Thanksgivings did you had to go through?
Like one a year usually. I mean,
How about you? How about you? How about you?
There's a random time. There's always a 2 year. You mean like with family and stuff?
Yeah.
This year we didn't actually. It was basically just because we live here at the studio. So I mean, we just kind of did our own thing.
Yeah, we kind of did our own thing here at the studio, and
yeah.
it was pretty chill and relaxing. Wasn't chaotic. I didn't have to see like 3 families this year. Eat 3 different dinners and stuff by the time lunch comes
massive political conversations that
never
want to freaking beat your head into a wall.
Yeah,
and make it stop.
I got to hear some racist shit at my family gathering, and I was like, "What the fuck, guys?"
Yeah. Benefits of living in the South.
Well, I didn't hear any racist shit, but I did hear a bunch of like sports talk. It was just like, how about them damn Cowboys? I'm like, yeah, they're 5-5. Congratulations. You want a fucking medal?
Yeah, I would have been cooler with that than what I had to listen to.
I don't follow enough.
The family members I know that are semi-racist in some ways, they're in jail, and they're either in jail or I don't talk to them anymore.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so
I can't stand to deal with none of that stuff.
I went through 4. I went through 4 Thanksgivings.
Oh, wow. One day?
No, 4 days in a row.
Oh, man.
So, consecutively. I had so much ham, I thought I was going to turn into a pig. And then I realized I wasn't a cop, and then, everything was good.
Oh,
sorry. My cousin was going to be a cop, so I had to make that joke.
Sorry, when you had asked that question and Jacob said, I typically go through 1 a year, I thought you were being a smart ass.
I was. No, I was.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay. My bad.
That's fine. So I had so much turkey. I thought, good God, I'm gonna give birth to a whole turkey, and of course I had so many potatoes. I thought I was gonna crap like a full spud.
You just get home and you're like, I feel really strange, and then you all of a sudden hear, you're like,
yeah,
that's not
mac and cheese is my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, that was definitely a guilty pleasure.
So. Yeah, and basically my family dumped all of the babysitting duties upon me.
Oh,
I had to look after, because I'm the only one in my family that doesn't have kids.
Let me tell you something, dude. My family, when we get together, my dad's side, when we get together, because they never get a large enough table. It's always just they have like the 6-chair table.
Yeah,
they get a couple more chairs in there, but that's it. I am 27 goddamn years old. And I swear to God, I will never leave the fucking kids table because all the older members of the family are at that. So I'm stuck with me. It's like me and my 24-year-old cousin. still at the fucking kids' table. It will
Yeah.
never fucking end.
Well, yeah.
Ever.
Well, they don't want me
until
they,
you have your own kids, and then it's like, all right, welcome to the club now.
Yeah, they want
Family
me
has
at the
gotta
kids'
die
table
off.
because they want me to babysit all their kids and like entertain them and all that. It's like, Nate, you do that stuff online. You can entertain kids. And I'm just like, shut up. Like, dang it, Granny, come on,
Yeah,
don't
that
do
shit
this to
annoying.
me.
Oh, them fangled kids playing with that internet stuff.
I'm just gonna be
It's gonna
like
be
one of
like-
the angry old kids.
Angry
I'm
uncles?
just gonna be angry. No, like I'm gonna be an angry old man. I'm already getting that way, and I'm not even old yet. But
Oh, God, you sound like Ben.
Back in my day, we had Nintendo and we had Super Nintendo, and that was it.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah, we
you
had
actually-
Sega.
I do hear you kind of do
cartridges.
that every now
And for all them rich kids out there, they had that Sega Genesis.
I didn't have a cell phone
Yeah.
until I got to college, and that's the truth.
I mean, I sound like that nowadays. I mean, I was
Oh,
bitching at the Xbox and the PlayStation the other day, and I'm like, I don't understand how my console 25 years ago works perfectly fine every time, and I don't have to update it, don't have to do this to it, I don't have to do anything to it. But yeah, a new product in 2018, I have to wait an hour and a half for it to install, and then update for a damn 30 more minutes, and then, oh, no, I got to pay for my Xbox Live now to do this, and it's just, oh, it's aggravating.
Yeah,
And-
I went through like the generational woes as well because yesterday we were plugging up our retro systems up in our streaming office. We got the N64 and our Super Retro Trio, which plays SNES, NES, and Sega Genesis, and even Famicom and Super Famicom too.
Nice.
And I have that plugged up there, and I turn it on. No problems, nothing whatsoever.
Doesn't have to
And then-
update.
It was even in widescreen format.
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
I was like, How is that in widescreen
well,
format?
the converter actually does a really good job of like doing widescreen format. You can tell there's certain like pixel stretches that look a little odd.
Yeah.
I was like, I
But-
see the Lego symbol is slightly rectangular, but that doesn't look too bad. Well,
Yeah.
impressive.
So, but Ben, he put it in 4:3 format. The TV that we put up in the streaming office, you can actually adjust it really easily, like 16 by 9 to 4:3. And when we put it in 4:3, it was just like, holy crap, I'm a kid again.
I was telling my girlfriend was in there with a Nintendo 64, and I said, "Yeah, rolling these cables up. They didn't make the cables very long."
Nope.
I said, "I think that's just because your family TV back when I was growing up was like this big."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it was-
that was the living
I
room
remember,
TV.
yeah, I remember playing Twisted Metal 2 on a little 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And you
they
sit
were
in
this
front of it.
big, little
Built-in
bubble back.
VCR.
Yeah.
into it and everything.
Yeah, had a little VCR in the bottom,
Yeah.
and you had the little plug-in cables in the front. Sometimes some of those didn't have. It only had like the yellow and red or the yellow and white, but never all three.
Yeah.
No.
And you had to play with like half the audio. It's just
Yeah.
like ugh.
I had
And-
an old 2-box TV, and I would play N64 on it, and I'd be in the middle of a dungeon trying to kill something in Ocarina of Time. And then it would all of a sudden go, like go fuzzy. And I'd
Yeah.
have to stand up and slap the top of
Yep.
it. And it
Slap the top of the TV.
I remember that.
Or you get the little green marks in the corner where your speakers are built into the TV, and the magnet.
the
pulls
magnet fucks it
yeah. it's like
yeah, I had that after a while.
Actually, my cousin, he actually had like a magnet set, and he brought it over one time. You know, it was like those magnetic ball things.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we had an old bubbleback TV in one of our rooms, and he permanently fucked it up because he kept going up to it with the magnet. He's like, "Dude, check this out."
Yeah, don't do that.
And I'm like,
Don't do
"What?
that."
No, don't." And he's like, "What? What?" And I'm like, "Look!" And he's like,
Isn't it cool?
"Oh."
yeah, it's
Oh.
cool. isn't
Oh,
it?
you fucked up.
He's like, "Oh, dang. I'm sorry, man." And I'm like, "You better hope that goes back to normal, because if it doesn't, Dad's gonna like tear into me." And
I
because
don't
my
know
dad,
what that
'cause
TV's doing.
that was my dad's favorite TV to watch, like to watch sports on and everything. Like whenever he doesn't watch sports anymore, but back when he used to watch like the Dolphins play and all that, yeah, he's a Dolphins fan. Yeah, my heart goes out to him.
Ron's a Dolphins fan. It's all good.
No, my heart goes out.
Be him.
Yeah, my heart goes out to him because it's like, oh, we're having a good year. Oh
Well,
crap,
well,
the
yeah.
quarterback got injured.
Let me rephrase that. He was a Dolphins fan until Dan Marino.
Well, yeah, Dan Marino was
that's a
like
long
everybody's
time ago.
favorite Dolphin. My dad's favorite, Bob Greasy, because he won two championships. And plus my dad grew up in the 70s, so he was also a fan in the 80s, and he loved Dan Marino, but he kept saying about Dan Marino, he just can't pull the trigger. Can't win the big one.
I don't know shit about it because
Sports
mean nothing to me. They
Well, yeah,
go over my head. But
I was raised around sports and everything, and
Right.
I still like keep up with the numbers and everything, but I don't do the team things. Like it's like my favorite team is this, my favorite team is that. Like my favorite player is like Aaron Rodgers, and my favorite.
no, dude, my brother is all about the Chargers.
Chargers.
Fucking,
Does he not
There
shut
he
up about
does.
Phillip Rivers? It's their
it
quarterback.
all becomes white noise. He talks about it.
It's
sorry,
like
dude.
it's like, could you believe that the
He
Chargers
says
the other
names.
day? And meanwhile, in your head, it's like you could barely I could see you turning a little
all-
dial.
yeah, all I'm
and you
hearing
turn
is,
off your sensors, and you're just like,
"Come with me, and you'll." I'm just thinking. Of
So
Willy
what
Wonka talking
happens in
about
mine is the little hamster inside here that starts kind of running a
Yeah.
little bit. You know, it's running at a pretty good pace most of the time, and then it talks about sports, and it slows down, and it turns around and starts running the other way. You know, that's typically my mind. When it
yeah,
comes
it's
to that.
just like you're
no,
thinking,
no hate towards sports. You know,
No,
it's
you're
all
thinking
entertainment.
backwards. You're just like, what were we talking about before? Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yep.
And it just and you're just like, I wish we could go back to the conversation.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Let's go back to
I
the
can
other
lead
one.
it back to that conversation. It's
Yeah.
like, wait, you were telling me earlier about your thing and such and such. It's like, oh yeah, man, and this and that. It's like, back to a convo I'm comfortable with. Nice. Yeah, I've had to do that.
Speaking of sports,
Go
there
ahead.
is it is a large market and pile for these old sports games for NES, Super Nintendo, 64, PlayStation, and you'll notice every thrift store or flea market you go to, and there's thousands of these sports games that are worth nothing. And are there any of them that's actually worth anything nowadays? The only one I
Once
remember
the-
having any fun with was Tecmo Bowl.
From working at a game store, I can tell you that once the next year for a sports game comes out, there's no value for the previous games anymore.
None.
except
Nobody cares.
Except, I will say this: there are classic Madden heads
Mm-hmm.
who only play from like 2002 to 2005, which a lot of people consider the golden years of Madden. In which I can agree, the games were really fun to play back then.
Yeah.
And also NFL Blitz '99.
Mm-hmm.
I know they came out with like Blitz the League and all
Yeah.
that, and they tried to do updates that way. But to me, nothing beats the original, where it's just like ridiculousness.
Yeah.
It's like some guy takes the ball and like pulls a pin out and throws it, and like it explodes behind him. It's just like, it's awesome. It's good, fun, silly shit. But Madden 2002 to 2005, people say is the most technically sound. It's the most fun, and also it's just like it has the best programming. Actually, there was a guy who actually had a programming line in that game that was stolen by the people who programmed it.
Really?
And turns out EA owed him a huge chunk of change.
Oh, wow.
And they paid out, because if he'd have taken them to court, he could have won their asses, because they got so much money off of those Madden games, because that was when like the huge boom in Madden happened. And I know Madden's like a yearly thing now,
Yeah.
but people forget like those were the games that made Madden into what it is, into like the cultural staple. Like especially for sports games.
They're like
and
the
stuff
Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Or Modern Warfare.
Yeah, it was like Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 3 was okay, but the first two Modern Warfares were just like so good.
I've met a fair few people, like, especially around here, that are like, yeah, I only have a PlayStation for Madden, pretty much. And so, I mean,
There you go.
It's like it sells systems to certain people. Like,
Yeah.
they don't play anything but that.
You're a PC gamer now, as well.
I
do
mean,
PC.
Yeah.
I have
Now,
come to
since
realize
I got
that
my
PC
GTX
is.
1080, I've been a PC.
Yeah.
I've come to realize why people say that PC is the best thing to play on.
Well,
But I still enjoy Sony's exclusives, and until they stop putting out good exclusives, I won't be able to pry myself away from PlayStation.
Yeah, I play all the consoles. I think anything competitive wise besides Halo, because it's exclusive to the Xbox only. Yeah, like I'm probably choosing PC over any of them. I guess for Overwatch or
Yeah. Well, actually, like I got I'm warming my hands up for Just Cause 4 coming.
Oh
out next
yeah,
week.
Just
And,
Cause.
I
that's gonna be fun.
I made the mistake for Just Cause 3. I got it on Xbox because I don't know. I didn't get into the series until Just Cause 2, and I played through that, and then they I think I originally got it for PlayStation, but then I went back and got it for on like one of the holiday deals, whatever.
Yeah.
I got it on Steam, and then I found out there was like a multiplayer mod that somebody made for Just Cause 2.
Yeah.
and that shit was fucking cool.
Yeah, it
and
was.
I don't know why I made it. I think it was because at the time I didn't have my 1080. When I upgraded and stuff, and they started coming out with higher powered games that I just couldn't run on my computer anymore.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting Just Cause 3 for Xbox, but
Yeah.
then that mod came out. I'm like, fuck.
Can't
get
dang
it.
it. I
Yeah.
can't. Dang
I
it.
can't
So
play it.
close. So
I'm definitely getting
Just Cause
4. for
Yeah.
PC.
Well, dude, you can ride a freaking tornado. Which
Yeah. It should look
okay. There's ridiculous there's super ridiculous, there's redonkulous, and then there's just cause. Then there's just cause.
Yeah, it's in a way it's kind of like how Saints Row kind of became, where there's no way to take the game seriously anymore. It's just having fun for the sake of just blowing shit up and fucking tying balloons and rockets to people and just watching the fucking fireworks. It's
my favorite thing to do it was in Metal Gear Solid 5. It was the system where you could actually
the Fulton.
The Fulton. My favorite was the bear. Whenever you hog-tied a bear, and it was just like up in the air, it's like whoa, whoa, and it's gone. It's like, I couldn't stand it.
The sound effect of it is great.
And the sheep
just hearing
too.
it in the distance, like get quieter as it's screaming.
And the sheep was also funny too, because it's like bah. Bah, bah.
It sounds inquisitive at first. It's like, bah. It's like, bah.
I'd have been funny if they did like a goat, and it was like the scream, like that was like a little Easter egg they hid in there, and every time you like took a goat up, it did like the screaming goat thing. It was it's like bah.
Yeah, with Just Cause 4, I hope they don't kind of. What I didn't like, I liked Just Cause 2's. There's a lot of different environments and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I felt like with Just Cause 3, they didn't have as like there wasn't a whole lot of versatility with the environments, and like 2/3 of it was ocean.
Well, and people, that's one thing people were a little bit miffed about, but you had the helicarriers and stuff like that in 3, which were cool.
I did like the flak and stuff, like flying around.
Cool. And that's cool, but you want to have the ability to do that over land and like fly into forts and do like crazy shit, like fly into like big tree, like try and do the glide through the trees and like test your skills on how good you are.
Dude, I mean, you have no idea how much I use that game just as like a flight simulator. Like I'll just
go.
fly from airports, and so I was disappointed they only have like one airstrip that can like take like the big giant cargo plane. Anywhere else, otherwise you're just gonna have to like land in a field somewhere or whatever.
Or just dive out, dive out and let it crash.
And I did like the aspect that you could drive vehicles up. I would load that shit up with tanks, just five or six tanks, make the plane barely able to lift off the ground. I mean, it's some fun shit.
Me more interested in that game because I love planes and flying planes.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you can do some, especially when you combine with like the tethers, because then what I'll do is like I'll tether up a plane behind the big cargo plane. I'll make it like a Mission Impossible movie or something. So I'm making a cinematic, like I gotta get to the fighter before the plane goes down.
Yeah, that'd be a good if Achievement Hunter does a thing like a things to do, and call it Mission Impossible.
Yeah, they've already done some they sent them the game, and they've already done a couple things. I mean, it's just fucking awesome.
Well, there you go. They beat us to the punch.
Yeah, man. So, we ought to do that, though. I mean, if we can use my computer.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'd be up for that. Oh, dude. Yeah. I love stuff like that. I love being able to like have fun in games and just like figure out, like me playing Minecraft the other day. I wanted to put in the mods and everything that like made it to where you could build a nuclear reactor and you could like fly to different planets and like Galacticraft. That to me is so much fun. And to think, hey, these are mods that are fully supported by the developers of the game. They didn't make them, but they allow them and like.
But they're like, that's a good mod.
That's a good mod. It's cool. And I'm glad.
Get the thumbs up for approval.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's like that. And Bethesda used to be really good about that, but now it seems as though Bethesda is just like jumping on everyone for trying to do different things. I mean, I know they got Fallout Miami coming out, which is a really cool looking mod, but when they killed the Fallout 3 mod, that they were going to pretty much reprogram all of Fallout 3 into the Fallout 4 engine, I was a little bit just like, why? I mean, come on, man. I mean, people are doing this as a labor of love. They're not asking for money or anything like that. And then they came up with the excuse, it's just like, oh, but it's because of the voice actors and all this and all that. And I'm like, okay, then hire other voice actors. Yeah. I know you can't replace Liam Neeson, but you can try. You can find a Liam Neeson sound-alike, and he's just like, dude, I mean, honestly, Liam Neeson's American accent is terrible. I mean, he's just like, hello, I'm trying to find out where my son is. It's like, are you Irish or American? Or it's like... Actually, Family Guy made fun of it a long time ago. It was like Liam Neeson trying to play a cowboy. He's like, Yeah, we're going to try and ford the river. It's really deep, like 10 to 12 furlongs.
Yeah,
It's like,
he seems like a second generation Irish immigrant.
Kind of, yeah.
He
Well,
came to the U.S. and
he is a naturalized American citizen now. He's lived over here in the States long enough to where he can call himself an American.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, you still hear his Irish accent come through. It's just like, you're still cool, Liam Neeson. And even in his 60s, could still kick my ass. He's like, he's like 6'4", and he's like a former boxer. And it's just like, I don't want to mess with that. Even at 60 plus years old, he'd still whip my ass.
Going back to the Fallout thing.
Go ahead.
As far as updates on that, I heard something like someone's opening lawsuits up on Bethesda over that.
Yeah.
76 thing.
Yeah, because of the refund thing, and also because of certain things that Bethesda promised and didn't deliver on.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're basically like saying that
Yeah, they're saying
essentially
it's
the game
incomplete game, launched way too early. I don't know the details of it because I haven't sit there and took time to play it, but everybody I know that's Fallout fans are pretty mad.
Well, actually, now that you mentioned that, actually drawing back into Fallout 76, Ben played Fallout 76 here recently, and he played it with some of the members of the community, and he said with people, he had fun, but by himself, not so much.
I was sitting there and I noticed that the entire time that they were playing the game, there was basically zero dialogue or interaction with NPCs, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they had
It's
all these
mostly
quests,
you're
but I
relying on
hadn't
people.
once heard anybody, like, talk to them or give them a quest or anything. So I think, like, the story that everybody's used to having in Fallout, and, like, all the little side quests and interesting characters you meet and stuff are kind of missing from this.
Well,
Yeah.
that wasn't. I mean, again, I don't know a whole lot about Fallout and everything. But wasn't that the selling point was like all the important people are real people in the game or something?
Yeah,
Like that?
you make your own adventures,
Yeah.
like you do this and do, but the problem is people like because the game is so buggy, it's hard to really do anything with other people.
Yeah.
And there's the whole fear of griefing, which they did have a good defense against people griefing you. Like blowing up your base and all that,
Yeah.
even though you've done nothing to provoke them. They actually make it to where if you blow up somebody else's base and kill them and all that, you're punished for it.
Yeah, I heard something like they're like the people launching like the nukes or whatever.
Yeah.
Like crash servers or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing they said they're working on. They said the light shaders are what's killing it because they really want it to be like a big blinding thing all throughout the map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they say the rendering for all the players on the server at different distances is what's killing everyone's. It's like what's killing everyone's. And honestly, I understand that because I've seen what certain light shaders. There's certain light shaders you can get in Minecraft. If you don't have at least 4 gigabytes of dedicated gaming RAM, you're effed. Like there's nothing you could do. Like the realism shaders that they have. Some of those are just redonkulous. Just holy shit. You see like the light on the horizon and everything, and you're like, whoa, how's this all rendering out like this? And then actually a guy, he was told to activate it on his Minecraft game, and he activated it. He's like, whoa, wow, this is beautiful. I want to play that. I want to keep playing like it. And then the game crashed, and he was just like,
Well,
all right. So he goes in and he deactivates that mod. He was just like, another time.
It's always disappointing. It's like I spent like 3 weeks modding my copy of Skyrim.
Oh,
And
man.
I was like, it was doing so well, and I kept running tests to make sure, and everything. And then I got to the point where I was like, I'm pretty happy with the way this looks. And I'm like, I think I'm going to start playing now. And I walk out, and the first time I go past anywhere that I've been before, like I come across a wagon, and there's like fucking textures missing. And then I get into combat, and then it's like drops to like 12 frames per second. And I'm like, I hate my computer.
Well, that's why we're building him a new one. I mean, actually, all the donations we've been getting from the chat and everything, when it comes to my streams, I've been dedicating to building his new PC, which he wants it to look like something from the Alien movies. Like it's got the front piece that actually has like
Some of the xenomorph.
I think we talked
Yeah.
about this last time because I think
Yeah.
I showed them,
yeah, we
HR
showed them the
Geiger
case and
artwork.
everything.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
like the original movies, like the technology
Yeah.
that exists there with CRT monitors.
Yeah, actually, that's actually the
Sort of, yeah.
the
Green
fan
and black.
controller that we're getting is actually like multicolored, but the green setting on it looks a lot like those
Yeah, the
those
CRTs.
Retrotech monitors that they had in the original Alien movies.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really freaking cool. And once we get that built, he'll be able to play whatever he wants, no problem.
Yeah.
Actually, we were talking about games that push. You weren't able to do anything until you got your new graphics card.
Dude, let me tell you. Before I got the GTX 1080, I was running a Quadro 4000. I originally bought Doom, the reboot Doom, on Steam, and I loaded it up and everything. The audio would play in real time, but it was like I was moving
Slow
at
motion.
1/4 speed. So I was like,
Oh,
like
God.
in the intro part where like you're fighting those first few demons before you get in that elevator scene
Yeah.
thing, whatever. Like I'm hearing audio by the end of that whole fight, and I'm still making my way through the initial quarter. I'm like,
Oh
this
my
doesn't
gosh.
make fucking
The
sense.
same thing happened
So-
to me, and I found out what happened was my onboard graphics chip on my laptop was actually activated instead of my 960M.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen that
So-
slow motion.
Yeah,
crap
I've seen
where
that
it's
happen
like
on a lot of
you're
people's
not moving at the right
computers,
speed. It was almost like it makes the game too easy because it's like having a constant slow mo on.
Yeah,
so you can just aim real,
Yeah. Oh, I can
real
react
carefully
to
at
this.
that imp and blow, and I'm just like, this is not fun though.
Yeah.
Actually,
Like, I
same
like the speed.
Linus encountered the same problem whenever he did like the 8 gamers 1 PC
Mm-hmm.
thing. They all launched copies of GTA, and 2 of them launched in slow mo. It's like they were trying to go through like the intro part and everything, and like everything was just like,
I'll tell you, there's been a few times in I guess growing up that I've had to buy new video cards and new hardware just to play certain games, and Quake 3 was one of them, and then Unreal Tournament 2004, then Unreal Tournament 3, which that was coming over from the 8800 to the 9800. And then,
Man.
yeah, those were good times. But,
Yeah.
man, it always sucks when you have to buy a new video card. And I'm not talking about just, like, turning the graphics down and stuff like that. I'm talking about, like, it would not let you even
wouldn't launch the game.
Yeah.
would not launch the
just
game until you upgrade hardware.
Crash or something.
Yeah,
or sometimes even give you a little prompt that's like, your video card can't run this. Have a
Yep.
nice day.
What's nice about it though, like as far as what's cool is like some of my older games because I didn't really get the souped up like the GTX 1080. I've never had a real powerful computer until pretty recently. So like a lot of my older games, like especially like I used to play a lot of RTS games. They don't make a whole lot of them now, but
Yep.
I always had to play them in pretty low settings, and so it's nice to be able to go back. I don't know if you ever played the game World in Conflict.
Yep.
I've heard of it.
But I was able to go back to that, and I was able to crank up everything, all the cool shit. And so it's nice to be able to like go back and like, yes, I finally win.
Yeah.
to do all the
So
cool
who's
shit.
playing Warcraft 3 when it gets remastered? Definitely.
So, I might
Yeah,
try it out.
I-
I don't know.
I'm
Did you
stoked
ever
about
play
that.
the original Warcraft 3?
No.
Okay, so
The thing is
I'm a
Warcraft
noob.
3 is a good game by itself, but the custom maps and game modes that people put out as the community,
super easy to build maps and game
Amazing.
types on too. I mean, really
Nice.
easy.
because I mean that's basically, I think that's actually where Dota came from, isn't it?
Yeah, stuff like Dota and League of Legends was pretty much custom game types in Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that was way before that.
Yeah.
My best buddy and me were talking about it because I was like, dude, like you heard about that, right? And he's like, yes, I heard about that. And he's like, dude, vampire hunters. There was like a vampire hunter mode where everybody would like on one team would be like the Dreadlord model.
Oh, no.
And they'd be like these vampire guys, and they get all these stats with like different vampire things they could do, like turn into basically like different kinds of Alucards and shit. And then there would be a group that was like paladin models, and they'd be the vampire hunters.
Well, I just
It'd
always
just be
love
kind of
the
a team like almost MOBA thing, but with like a vampire theme.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Dang.
See, I just wish the RTS stuff would come back to as strong as I think it used to be in the early PC community, because strategical stuff is very important thing to me for is keeping a balanced game going and keeping a lot of competitive going into it instead of just precision. Like you got your Counter-Strike players that are just really super precise and good at accuracy, and some people, I'm going to say like myself, it doesn't matter how much you practice, I cannot get my arms and wrists that precise.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, well, as far as the RTS stuff goes, I mean, I wasn't into the earlier Command and Conquer stuff, but I fucking loved Command and Conquer Generals. And I was so excited when they were talking about like Generals 2 coming out, but then that whole thing just kind of fell apart, and they never went anywhere. And like they ended up just canceling the whole program. Dang. But yeah, I wish that's what I miss a lot of those RTS games. I love commanding like battalions of forces just sending out. That's why Halo Wars is I'm glad they're still kicking with that. Halo Wars 2 is a fun game.
That's good. I've never been into RTS. I played a little bit of like StarCraft, stuff like that. It was pretty good for it. And as time has gone on, I've opened myself up to like the different types of games and stuff like that. Nowadays everyone wants YouTubers to play like the scare games. Like, Markiplier is out there. He plays like the Five Nights at Freddy's games, all these custom horror games that people have made and sent him and everything. And me, I just like to play games that I have fun with.
Yep.
Some of the Five Nights at Freddy's games I found fun in some ways, but I just found them more annoying in others.
They kind of get repetitive and stuff.
Yeah, and
to me, there's nothing like a heated StarCraft 2 match. I don't know, man. Something about just, especially when you get to 4-player mode. I mean, 1v1, you've seen can fill up a whole massive armies going at it, but man, when you get like 2v2, I mean, I would love for like me and Rona just here and practice for a little bit and go against you two on some StarCraft.
It would
that'd be
bad.
interesting. I
never played StarCraft, so
terrible.
Run me through that
you
as
guys
well.
got an advantage then because he's never played.
Well, if you've played more than I have, which is like I've only played StarCraft like a couple of times. So you'd
have to practice at it for a good while and kind of get the hang of it before you get into it. But you
like
could have
Warcraft,
a
I
newbie
might be able to do a
StarCraft.
little better at.
A newbie StarCraft tournament.
Yeah.
Just a challenge,
Yeah, see what happens.
I think we
Interesting
should definitely do Warcraft 3 though.
All right, we got.
Oh God, Union's here. He's like, RTS games. I came at the right time. AK-47s for everyone. Thus, a Command and Conquer Generals reference.
Yes, it
And
is.
he's like, stop making fun of my accent.
God, they really went full on with the accents in Command and Conquer's. Like all the American generals and stuff are like, fucking Arlie Ermy sounding. You just the super tough macho, American.
I
can't remember the names, but
and like the commander of the army's like the raspiest, like Steve Bloom. He's just like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to do.
I'm gonna put on an air show.
Yeah, we're gonna put on an air show. We're gonna cause some mayhem.
But yeah, they just use like the most stereotypical accents for not just the Americans, but for the Chinese and the GLA as well. It's comical, but it's such a great game. And I played some of them. Going back to the mods, I played some of the mods of those, like Shockwave. God, I can't remember what the other ones. But, those are fun. Just being able to, like for the longest time, I always was kind of cautious with mods because I didn't want it to like fuck up my computer or something.
Yeah,
but something to be cautious about.
I went ahead and I tried it out, and it was so cool just getting to play with some new units in those games.
Yeah.
One I've always wanted to try is Supreme Commander because I've heard real good things about that.
I haven't heard of that.
For the time that it released, it was like the game that you basically couldn't run unless you had an expensive ass computer for the time. Because it was just so resource heavy, and it was like the most units on the screen of any RTS that's come out.
Yeah,
so.
StarCraft's like that too. Believe it or not,
good.
It doesn't look like a very super high graphic intense game, but you gotta understand your processor loads anything that's not on your screen.
Yeah.
So if your opponent has 10,000 units, which actually I think you can only get 2,000 units, but 2,000 units on there one time, and you got like 1,000 something units. Yeah, it's loading all his stuff too. That you just can't see it, and it comes into processor overload. So
which that's why they say that for processors they say the more cores the better. For certain games, for RTSs, absolutely, but for FPSs and very single core oriented functions, they say like the 4 cores are like the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Like I think in an Intel 4 core or an Intel 6 core is like most people say is the best for like all around gaming.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're doing like RTSs and stuff like that, the higher the core count,
just get the most gigahertz.
It's kind of weird. I don't know if you played Star Wars Empire of War.
Uh-huh.
I tried loading up my powerful computer recently, and now I'm using a 4K monitor and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the game just did not want to fucking work with the higher resolution stuff. I actually had to load it up on my laptop, which is like a 1300 by whatever resolution.
That
Yeah.
happens with Warcraft 3 for me for some reason. Try to install old school Warcraft 3 and
it's
just not having it.
It's the programming base because most of them operate like the old ones operate on like x86, like 32-bit, and when you go on a 64-bit system, it can mess up a lot of shit, especially when you're trying to like because they actually do like VMs where you can actually have like the virtual like 32-bit machine operating within the 64-bit, and you can actually like launch the games that way.
There's compatibility mode, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. You know?
Yeah, I'd rather use try and use the virtual machine because compatibility mode still they say it works, but it doesn't.
I think I had to do like a virtual machine type thing when I played System Shock 2.
Oh yeah.
Because it was so old.
Oh, dude, I was so pissed when they shut down the remake of that.
That sucks.
They were going to remake System Shock 2, which has probably one of the best twists in all video gaming ever. I mean, just really freaking
I don't think I ever played it. So.
Oh, man.
It's the game that BioShock was the spiritual successor to.
Okay.
Yeah,
and,
it was made by the same people, effectively, all the way through.
It takes place on is it a space station or a space?
Yeah,
station?
it's a space
station,
yeah.
and there's a rogue AI that is basically running amok.
Turning loose all these experiments and making mutants and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's real RPG based, but it's also like horror survival at the same time.
Yeah, it's like
you can like make your character like a badass brawler, or you have like this orb that basically like sticks into your arm like a syringe that lets you like basically have powers like telekinetic powers and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And the enemy spawns were also RNG to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be in a place you're like, I cleared this area, it's all good, and then you get slapped in the back of the head by a zombie and be like, holy shit!
Yeah, it's just random.
Yeah,
I love stuff like that because I mean, it makes playing through the same game once a lot.
Irrational Games are the people who made it, and it was really, really good, man. It was so good.
I'm seeing something here.
Awesome.
They're saying they're remastering the Command and Conquer General series. I am very interested to see that.
That's cool.
That's the biggest thing. Like for me, graphics I do find is an important thing, and I always like. It's kind of difficult to kind of go back to the older stuff for me. I know it's kind of nitpicky, but yeah. So if they remaster it with higher graphics, that would be very pleased.
They keep remastering stuff that I've wanted remastered, and like there's still the one thing left that I'm just like, please
do this,
please,
please cross your fingers.
Fatal
Mass
Frame
Effect.
trilogy.
Redo the original Mass Effect.
That's actually, I'm hoping that if Anthem is successful, they will go back and they will re-release the Mass Effect series
with updated graphics,
like updated graphics, and maybe even like I'd try and do a full rebuild, like make the gameplay a little bit more smoother, like just redo the whole thing from the ground up. Heck, outsource to a good house, like to a good secondary development house that does really good like remastering work.
I think they also should take some time and come up with some different endings.
Oh,
and
for
add
3?
them in.
For 3,
just to kind of appease everyone a little bit and be like, yeah, so we have 4 new endings out of like, these 4 and the decisions you make and stuff. We're hoping someone can find an ending that they're okay with.
Okay, this is going to be a point of contention. May become a point of contention. I don't know. Me, I'm indifferent about it, but some people on the internet are very anal retentive about it. What did you think of the original Mass Effect 3 ending?
The original one before like the
before the extended cut.
To be honest, I didn't play the game until right after the Citadel DLC came out, so I didn't actually experience the whole kerfuffle.
Oh god. So
was it basically, from what I understand, essentially it did the color filter thing, and they didn't really have any of the
nothing changed
at the end of it.
Nothing like there was no, because the director of the game, Casey Hudson, who I'm a huge fan of, does really good work, but at the same time has he was told that he told us after Mass Effect 2 came out that he would not do the thing where you pretty much are given the choice of 3 endings and you have to be content with that. No, we want to have it to where this is massive and branching, and we'll have so many endings. You'll actually be spending hours and hours going through
Like
and trying
Detroit
to find how to
Become
get
Human or some shit.
Yeah, almost like that. Yeah.
Sounds kind of like a Peter Molyneux promise.
Well, no. Here's the thing: Casey Hudson had actually delivered on every single one of the games up until that point.
Yeah.
Because Mass Effect 1 had a good variety of combat, and then he said Mass Effect 2 will actually have a lot of different endings that honestly, some will shock you, some will make you cheer, and some will make you so sad that you'll never want to play the game again. And in certain cases, he was right. I mean, he was right with, the stand up and cheer. Whenever you go through the suicide mission and everybody lives, you did everything right. You're just like, yeah. And then there's the one where everyone dies, including Shepard. You're just like,
well, I fucked up.
yeah. And then there's the ones where you lose probably one of your favorite teammates, like me. My first time playing through, I lost Thane. I was so sad. I was just like, Thane, no! And he's just gets devoured by those little things. They drag him off into the distance. I'm like, no!
Yeah, I mean,
dang it!
As far as from again, not really experiencing it.
Go ahead.
It sounds like I mean, I'm glad they made that patch because I would have been really disappointed if they had just you get a pretty color and all right, bye.
Well, and also things in terms of scientifically didn't make sense because what happens in the Arrival DLC in Mass Effect 2 whenever you destroy a Mass Effect drive?
Yeah, just
whenever you destroy a mass relay, it goes supernova. In the original ending, all of the Mass Effect drives explode in the original ending. And I'm like, scientifically, that doesn't make any sense, especially with the science that you've laid out here. The mass relays, if they explode, they go supernova. Where are these all going supernova? And they may have some bullshit excuses, just like, oh, but all the energy is released whenever it's shot through to the next one. It's like, bullshit! Bullshit! That's not true. It's a bullshit excuse because because you were rushed to. They were rushed to finish the game.
Yeah.
Because typically the games had a 3 to 5 year dev cycle, and they were rushed forward into a 2-year dev cycle because 2010 is when Mass Effect 2 came out, and then in 2012 is when Mass Effect 3 came out. I think they did that to cash in on the whole end of the world, 2012, the world ends. I'm just like, they did the same thing with Assassin's Creed 3. They rushed the development of Assassin's Creed 3, and it ruined the game because it was so buggy and so choppy, and the characters were so underutilized and underwritten, and it pissed me off to no end because sometimes you can't rush these things. I get it. Sometimes when you rush things, great things can happen. Toy Story 2, for instance, it was rushed with 1.5 years development, and it took them, 8 years to make the first one?
Yeah. Well, in the very first Toy Story, they were developing the software to make it with, too. So, once that was already out of the way, Toy Story 2 is pretty much all design and concept and storyboarding, yeah, it just goes straight into production on that one. So, yeah, it doesn't have as long, but, definitely 1.5 years is a little bit too much to push on.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then that's what I don't really understand.
Any feature film or production stuff, I mean, if you got a year production and you only set aside 6 months for post-production, that's where you're messing up.
Yeah.
Post-production takes just as much TLC as production, if not more.
If not more, yeah.
And that's what, what all went wrong with Mass Effect Andromeda, because they had 4.5 years to get all that, to get everything laid out, get it done right, and I don't know. I enjoyed the game.
I did too.
I guess I didn't find as much. It didn't pull me in as much as the original trilogy. That said, I got to play. I had heard about Mass Effect when it was coming out and stuff. I was bigger into Halo back then.
Yeah.
I didn't actually play Mass Effect like that. I played the whole trilogy all back to back.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the it was on a Steam deal, and it was like, all right, I've heard about this. I want to try it out. And I'm like, dude, where the fuck have I been for 6 years? This fucking game's awesome.
Yeah.
I
did that with Halo Reach when it first came out. I didn't even play it.
Yeah, getting
Oh man.
I didn't even play it until a year after it came out. And I was like, where have I been?
What have I done?
Yeah, I guess for me, Andromeda just it lacks a little bit of that replayability for me.
Well, Andromeda, the big problem with it was that they hired a whole bunch of new people, and they hired people who were massively inexperienced, all because of rush development. You see, when Casey Hudson left the project, I was worried. When the writer was told that they were tossing out his entire script and they were starting fresh and he had to write an all new one and he quit, I was like, oh God, what are y'all doing? And then when I heard that a lot of people, the big drawback to it was like the facial animations, especially in the technical aspect, the facial animations.
It's just stuff that it should have gotten caught.
Well, the person who did the facial animations had only been working with had never worked facial animations before. Turns out she was actually a body movement dev, and that's it. And basic body movements, that's one thing, because you can plot out like finger movements and like arm movements and all that, but there's a lot of detail that has to go into the face because this is the primary express.
With humans, you can get away with that shit for Turians and stuff, but with a human, there's a lot of subtle expressions that go in, and so there were a lot of facial animations that just didn't fit, didn't make sense, and some that were just really awful.
And the reason why, and another reason why people complain about the game is that the game felt empty. It didn't have enough in the world to invest in.
Yeah,
and
because you didn't get as many of the places to explore. Like you had the Nexus and the Angaran world, whatever. But I think like that pirate colony, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
But even they were pretty small. I mean, I did. They did a lot better as far as the open world driving and stuff than you would ever expect from fucking Mass Effect 1, because that shit was just driving around on the Mako in desolate wastelands. But
but they still had a Thresher mod come up every now and again to make things interesting.
Yeah, but it just didn't have the same liveliness, I guess, of like Ilium and the Citadel and stuff, and was it Omega?
Omega was awesome. I loved Omega.
I don't know.
Well,
again, I enjoyed the game. I don't have I have a more open minded with things, and I always look at the fact that a shit ton of people worked on this project. Yeah, maybe appreciate that.
Well,
So I don't have as harsh of a view as a lot of people did for Mass Effect Andromeda. But
I don't have as harsh an opinion because I played it all the way to completion. I liked it. Now, do I think they should have finished the DLCs and finished the expansion of the entire Andromeda universe?
I wish they would have done the DLCs.
I wish they would have. But EA made the call and said, "No, BioWare, you need to stop working on this."
And see, that's my problem. Isn't so much with BioWare. I mean, I know they got some management issues, but my problem, I fucking hate EA.
EA,
as I believe everyone does.
Most people do nowadays. Yeah, they've kind of built a reputation for themselves, and
and everything that's happening to them with Battlefield 5, they absolutely fucking deserve.
Oh gosh,
yeah. I think a lot of people agree with that too. A lot of people's on the same page. We actually seen one of the comments here talking about Battlefield 5 earlier with. I don't know what happened with that one. All I know is some comments were made directly to their fans, and as far as the World War II inaccuracy,
it was not smart. It was not smart play.
No,
Star Wars is what killed them for me finally. I was always leery of them, but then when they did that Star Wars shit, I
didn't play the original Battlefront. I got Battlefront 2 because I was really interested in the Ursa, what's her name?
Crap! I can't remember.
You know who I'm talking
about?
No. It was the character they made for.
Damn it!
You're talking about like the single player campaign.
Single player, yeah. See, I've completely forgotten about the game because
I forgot what her name was.
Yeah. They build her up to be like, this story is going to be told from the the Imperial side of things. Like, oh, cool, it's going to be kind of a grayer perspective. It's not going to be good and evil, and they made that. They hyped it all up, and I'm like, that's cool. I even got like the Inferno book. I read through the Inferno book. This is gonna be fucking cool. Get the game. Fucking second mission in, she's already betraying the Empire. Third mission, she's fucking full on with the rebellion. I'm like,
what
was the fucking point?
I'm a big fan of the dark side too. So
when
it comes to seeing that,
I'd like to see a story told from the dark side, like how like people who actually believe in the Empire, people who actually want that.
Well,
They
a lot
want
of people
they
don't
want
realize the
Empire
backstory of the Empire. It goes a lot deeper than just some dark force making people do evil
Yeah, I
shit.
mean, well, and,
yeah,
You know,
and that's the thing.
it
Is,
goes a lot deeper than that.
I mean, it shouldn't be something that's viewed. It's all good and evil. No, it's a bunch of shades of gray, and that's what it doesn't necessarily have to be. I wish I could fucking remember her name. Admiral something was her father.
I forget.
Versio, Admiral Versio.
Okay.
She didn't need to be. Nobody's gonna really relate with a character that's just full on evil, but.
I'm waiting for a
If it's
Darth
shown
Maul
her,
movie.
a lot more ambiguous about the situation, she's, maybe she, breaks away from kind of the Empire's, like the harsher ideas as far as like the old, the burning all of the Empire worlds and shit.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have to immediately fucking side with the rebellion.
No.
I mean,
You see,
that's like every other fucking storyline.
one game that did a pretty good job in terms of making the transition from dark side to gray to light was, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
I remember playing that. Yeah, that was
Starkiller. Actually, you found him being relatable to some degree because Darth Vader killed his dad, took him on as his ward, trained him to be, trained him to be his apprentice, and then when he's discovered, Darth Vader betrays him and makes it look like he killed him. And then Darth Vader tells him, we can no longer operate the way we have been. Your fate is now yours. Do as you wish. And thus he thinks, okay, I need to gain Vader's trust again, so I need to take out these Jedi. And then he starts hearing through the grapevine that all these Jedi are actually like, he actually hears how the Jedi are in all this, and he's just like, this is not what my master told me. And it's a very slow turn, and then by the end of the game, you're still not sure if he's 100% on the light side because you actually get to choose the ending. You can actually choose the ending where you decide to take full vengeance on Vader, and thus everyone you know and love dies, and you become the Emperor's slave.
Although I did find it interesting. Obviously, there's the reveal at the end where like that was the Emperor's whole plan all along. But like as far as like Vader like starting the rebellion to keep the Emperor distracted, that'd have been kind of a cool thing to pull on. Like if that was Vader's thing all along. But,
but it turns out the rebellion grew into something bigger than.
Yeah, they kind of made their own monsters. I mean, that's your typical Frankenstein story kind of in a way.
Well, yeah, and I liked it. I liked the Force powers in Force Unleashed, even though the quick time events were a little bit grating to some degree, because they were so dependent on them for some of the boss battles. I'm just like, I want to actually fight the boss at some point, but those complaints are minimal compared to like the Battlefront stuff, the new Battlefront games, especially like it's like, hey. You want to pay for an upgrade on this weapon here or this and that? It's like, here, buy EA points and you can buy all this stuff. You want to play as Chewbacca? Well, you want to grind through the game for 40 some odd hours? Oh, you can get him here for free? Oh no, it's not free. You got to pay $20 damn bucks just to play as.
I remember playing like the arcade mode because I was like, okay, well then I don't have to fucking go through the whole pay to play bullshit. I can just play the arcade mode. You can only gain XP for 3 rounds and then you have to wait fucking 12 hours or some shit. Like,
yep.
I remember seeing something on YouTube where a guy was like, come back in 24 hours. I'm sorry. I was enjoying your game so much. My bad.
My thing with loot boxes is I don't completely hate loot boxes. I think loot boxes can be used for like cosmetic stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's the general consensus.
I like
cosmetics, anything that it doesn't affect the actual gameplay. If somebody's coming in with,
I think Overwatch pretty much did it right on there because they don't charge for loot boxes. You can get them just by playing the game.
Yeah,
I mean, simple as that.
And
you can buy them extra if you really want to, but they're all just cosmetic stuff, so you're not going to get any improvement, weapon upgrades, or anything like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I understand the aspect of it because game prices really haven't
increased.
I mean, they've been $60 for what, 10 years now?
Yeah.
But I mean, inflation hasn't fucking stopped, so it's understandable. They got to make the money. They get the money from somewhere.
They're making more money off of. It's not just that's the only money they make is from game sales, especially physical copies, digital copies, they do not have to pay for distribution anymore for digital downloads. So that takes off a huge chunk of the money. Plus merchandising stuff, they make a lot of money through that. Licensing, other companies buy in and invest into their products too. I mean, think of like Mountain Dew. Every time Mountain Dew puts a video game on the side of their box,
but
they're getting money.
Ultimately, they want to make more and more money than the last game.
Well,
so,
of course,
they got to sell that to their investors and stuff. So
for me, I choose to go with the model that Sony's going with. Just make good games.
Yep.
Because you look at God of War, you look at the new Spider-Man, you look at the Last of Us series, Sony's killing it. Yep. Sony, the Sony first-party studios are absolutely destroying
I mean,
it.
word gets around quick. You make a good game, it will sell.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it.
And also, Rockstar, I follow Rockstar's model as well. I mean, you look at Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, and you look at the amount of money that those two games alone have generated.
Right, if you go into video game design in general with the intent to make money, you're not in the right business. I mean, I'd say the same thing about filmmaking too. You're in the wrong business.
Grand Theft Auto is coming up on 6 years now. It doesn't even feel
Oh,
like
it has
doesn't
broken
feel
so many records on how much it's sold.
That shit, you can still go in that game. It's fun as shit. And
yeah,
because they just keep adding new things, like all the different.
I think a couple months ago it was still the best-selling game of that month.
And
I just actually finally played through GTA 5 all the way recently, and it was on my computer, and I'd only ever played it on PlayStation 3. So the difference in it, I was just like, this feels like it came out last week.
Yep.
The only gripe that I have with GTA is they keep releasing all the online content, right? Like all the cool kick-ass vehicles stuff. They don't put any of that in single player. And I play online every now and again. I'm not a huge online player. I would love them to fucking port a lot of those vehicles over to single player. I'll pay for it. I don't know if they still charge for DLCs in GTA.
No, you pay for shark cards. That's really it.
But if they just did that shit $4.99 or whatever for each DLC, I'll do that because I want to fly around the goddamn kick-ass gunships.
I do what they did with the Ballad of Gay, the stories of GTA, where they released Lost and Damned and Ballad of Gay Tony as its own separate thing, whereas on PC they released that as a massive DLC package that you can all buy together, and I like that.
So speaking of PC, we have a comment on here. Hi King Alex Love says, so I'm thinking about getting a new PC. Any hints for a noob?
Well,
alrighty. So buying a PC versus building one. That's the first question.
Yeah. Well, your question is also budget.
Yep.
How much money?
Budget's going to go into it. So
you're always going to be able to get something better almost 100% of the time if you build it.
Yep.
Well, I will say this: that there's a few things you have to consider. Number one, you want to get if you want to build a PC, you want to make it to where it's upgradable, as you can continue to upgrade it with different parts for future generations as much as possible.
So have a big box with a lot of slots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. What I would do is I'd go ATX, ATX build, which is the big motherboards. It's not the biggest, but it's the standard big motherboard. And I would make sure it is SLI compatible, meaning you can have 2 graphics cards on it if you want to. And it also has rooms for other expansions, like if you want to put in a capture card and other stuff like that in the future, you have options. And 2, you want to make sure that you have a board that can take chipsets from at least at least one future generation of processors. That's just like right now, the LGA, I think it's the 1151 format that they have for Intel right now. I think that's going to be the standard that they have for at least the next few years. So I'd get, if you're going Intel, buy that. But if you're going AMD, at least an AM4 Plus motherboard.
Yeah, we're getting a couple more questions that are concerned on that. I wouldn't even know how to build a new PC, much less know where to start. And then, hey, Renegade, what kind of microphone do you guys have, and what kind of computer would you guys recommend?
The microphones that we're using right now are there are Zing U, and you can basically find them on. You can go on Amazon. You get the microphone, this little foam thing, the shock mount, this arm, and the XLR cable for about $35, and this is a pretty decent sounding microphone, I believe.
Oh yeah, the quality you're hearing right now. This
$35. Yeah. I mean, especially when you're starting out, you don't need the super high end shit to make it a good quality thing.
So what I'm gonna say is on the PC thing is you got. I guess growing up with PCs, it was never a good idea to buy or to game on a laptop, and I would not say that's true nowadays. I think most laptops nowadays can pretty much keep up. They're just not upgradable to pretty much any extent. I still would not recommend gaming on a laptop. If you want to get into PC gaming, I would still get a desktop and build it from scratch. If you don't know how to, YouTube it because it is easier now than ever.
Yeah, look, you go to Linus Tech Tips. Linus Tech Tips has all these builds for different styles and budgets and all that. You can actually go by that.
There's a website also called PCPartPicker.com.
Yep.
And it will let you pick and choose and match stuff that you think you want to get, and if you run into any problems with compatibility for different pieces, it will let you know, and it'll be like, hey, well, this won't work with this that you have. Here's some other suggestions. You could change that, or if you don't want to change that, you can change the thing you just picked, and it'll help you sort it out, and it'll get you everything working.
Oh, and I recommend Newegg and Tiger Direct.
Yeah.
You can get on there and type in bare bones kits, and you can basically get a whole kit of a lot of different assortment of parts and put them together. I mean, but it's so easy nowadays because it goes motherboard, processor, RAM, then video card, then your power supply case, hard drive, and
peripherals.
Other than that, it's just bonus stuff you have to add on there.
It's also real hard to mess up because everything has its own specific shape slot, so
yeah,
you can't really put something in the wrong place or anything like that.
Okay. The only thing you mess up is like the reset switches and stuff.
Yeah. And also just when you handle PC parts, obviously, you want to unstatic yourself or have one of those little bands to keep you from accidentally.
What's up, bro?
I'm sorry. I have to answer High King Alex Love's question. Did you enjoy Infinite Warfare? Abso-fucking-lutely. It's a fucking awesome game.
He's been trying to get me to play it for like the past 3 weeks. And
oh, God.
I'm just not a Call of Duty fan in general, even though I did buy Black Ops 4 just recently. I'm not a fan of Call of Duty in general, and to me, like, I don't know. I see the characters and I just think it all looks stupid. But he's trying to change my mind.
Here's a few caveats to that one. I'm not a huge fan of the whole Black Ops series. I just never really got into it. I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed Black Ops 2. Black Ops 3 kind of went a little off the fucking rails.
That's what a lot of people say.
As far as the campaign, again, I'm bigger solo playing and campaign, that kind of stuff. So I'm not a huge fan of the Black Ops stuff. I loved Modern Warfare and Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare. The villain in Infinite Warfare fucking sucks. And
it's Jon Snow.
It doesn't fucking matter.
I know.
It sucks. They didn't develop him at all.
No, they didn't.
His awesome line is, "We don't fight, we attack." Okay.
And he booms the microphone. He's like, boom.
But
it's almost as good as the Japanese dub for Gundam Wing.
The way he takes him, the villain goes down, it's dumb. It's not great. But the way that, as far as the protagonist, the main character that you're playing as, and all the supporting protagonists and stuff, are very good. They're well developed. It feels like you're immersed in the world, and the way the mission layout is done. It's not a full linear thing. You basically, after the first couple missions, you kind of are able to select what missions you go to when.
Uh-huh.
And it's like,
so you're talking about exclusively campaigan single player.
Yeah.
Okay.
The multiplayer is pretty good. Again, I don't play a whole lot of multiplayer, but I did play that. I found it good. It's interesting as far as like a lot of that verticality. Very high speed. It felt very much like playing Titanfall.
Okay.
As far as with all the wall running and stuff.
Which Titanfall, I'm glad they've actually expanded the second one and actually put in a damn good campaign in the second Titanfall.
Yes.
Whereas the first one, it was sort of a just. It was
you had to play multiplayer to play the campaign, which was interesting for me. Not really caring about multiplayer. It was kind of an interesting way to engage me in that process of like, well, you don't have a choice. You're going to play multiplayer whether you like it or not. It's like, okay.
Yeah, Black Ops 4 is
all right, Dagon.
It's all multiplayer.
Well, actually, there is a campaign. There's a semi-campaign.
It has these little, I guess, campaign missions.
Yeah.
That are. I was sitting there. I tried it, and it goes into the cinematic modes, and I felt like it was directed towards 7-year-olds. Like, I mean, I really did. Like, with the acting, the characters putting their guns on their shoulders like
Oh,
this.
this
Like,
is Black Ops?
it was like,
Black Ops
what
4?
am I watching right now?
yeah,
It's
dude,
like, this is awful.
Well, because I knew there wasn't any campaign to it,
Yeah.
but like I saw there was still some kind of like story cinematic. Sort of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
okay, I'll
Big
play it.
muscular dudes like
yeah.
this that carry guns and they hold them out like this, and then they rest their M249 machine gun up on their arm like this and pose cool
Yeah.
for the camera. And
So-
apparently that's your loading screen.
Yeah.
That's your character art. And I'm
That
like,
is a bit.
these
that is a
characters
bit
are
dumb.
They're
useless.
cartoon.
Oh,
yeah.
it's like,
well,
what is going
and that's
on?
the thing. Like, I played it on YouTube just because I'm not gonna fucking play the game, but.
No.
Call of Duty World at
it just
War.
looked so convoluted. Like what?
Yeah,
the
he
fuck
said
is
Call of
going
Duty
on?
World at War peaked it for.
Union. Yeah,
Mhm.
I liked World at War. It was actually the last World War II one before the newest World War II game, which I liked the new World War II. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed by the new World War II one. It just I didn't feel like it. But the World at War.
World at
World
War.
at War was good. I like the
Oh,
dark
the campaign was
grittiness.
awesome in that one.
It almost felt like you were playing like a horror.
I think
movie, or
everybody
a
was
horror
playing
game,
World at War, or as far as the Call of Duty fans, most of them were playing that at the time when it came out.
Yeah, that
And
was actually the first one that Treyarch did for for Activision, because for the longest time it was just Infinity Ward that was doing the work for him, and then Treyarch did it, the thing is with World at War, like you said, it did kind of feel like a horror game in some ways.
Which and it was interesting because I mean just as far as that viewpoint,
the horrors of war.
And it was they certainly had kind of creepy aspects to it, which is and obviously they introduced zombies into that, so it was kind of that was a part of that. Which me and Ron played that shit.
Oh yeah,
the first initial zombies, dude. We played that hours on end. Oh my god, because he loves zombies.
Have you seen some of the modded maps that they built for World at War on PC?
No, I haven't.
I have not.
Oh my gosh, one of them is absolutely ridiculous. It's a Halloween map, and it's literally you're in a cul-de-sac, and there's all these houses around, and once you get enough points from killing zombies, you actually go up to them and you knock on the door. And people are just like
trick or treat,
trick or treat. Yeah, it's literally trick or treat. And they open the door. Sometimes they give you good shit. Sometimes they don't. And sometimes big bad dudes just come chasing at. Vanos Gaming actually had a very funny series on it where they actually did the different holiday maps. They did one. It was the Halloween one, of course, in which. The most fun for me was the ninja, the ninja that would come out every now and again. He'd come running out the door, and he would do you'd hear the Liu Kang, wah! And he'd do an aerial kick, and it was an instant down once it hit you. It was just wah! And you just hear in the distance, you'd hear Vanessa's friend Dahi Denogla. He'd just be like, oh, there he is again, oh shit, he's gonna kick me! I'm running away! Don't kick me! No! God damn it, everybody kick me! God damn it!
You said it's World at War?
Yeah, World at War on PC. All the different modded maps.
Have you played the World War II zombies at all?
Yes, I played it a little bit. I love that they got David Tennant to be in that. I love they got David Tennant.
I just never could get into the zombie mode because I'm not a big fan of having to empty a full clip into a zombie's face to take them down.
Yeah, it is. Well, what do you think about the kind of that German town or whatever? I don't know what the map's called, but where you're in the snowy village or whatever.
Oh,
because I like that ability where it's not just one single loop that you kind of have to run on. You have a lot of options as far as running away from the zombies.
Yeah.
And it's even kind of cool because sometimes they'll jump out of the doorways and or around a corner and fucking scare the shit out of you.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. But
I love that.
It was interesting. I kind of got back into it a little bit. Playing that mode.
Well, yeah, I
love that Tommy gun. The
Tommy gun just blows everyone away.
It's such a satisfying sound when it fucking.
Yeah, you just hear the ratchet of it, just
Yeah.
I love the old school Tommy gun sounds.
To elaborate on the question as far as the PCs, though, if I had to give one recommendation, is just do your research. Research, and then you'll figure out what's best for you. Because there's stuff that's on a budget. Budget is ultimately going to decide, how far you go into it.
Oh,
Nope.
there's our producer. She's she's going back into the studio.
Just definitely research everything many times, and then you'd be amazed how simple it is nowadays. One of the other questions we had on here was, would you guys play the new or old Mortal Kombat games? I'm going to say both, because I think Mortal Kombat 10 is almost revolutionary as far as modern fighting games. But I do enjoy I don't think there's a single bad Mortal Kombat game, to be honest.
You don't have to get me
All of
into
them,
it.
except for the very first one.
Special Forces was bad.
Oh yeah.
Special Forces was junk.
Yeah.
And also the N64 and also the N64 port of Sub-Zero Chronicles was just junk.
I'm talking about as far as like, the main ones.
Oh, the main ones?
1, 2, 3, all the way to 10.
Yeah. All the way to 10, I don't think that there's been a bad one, because I loved the first 3, and then they did Ultimate 3, and I was just like, okay, this is awesome. And then they did 4, which took it into the 3D realm. Then you had Deception. Let's see, it was Deception.
Okay. Yep, Deception.
Oh no! It was It was Deadly Alliance, then Deception, then Armageddon, and then 9, and then 10. It started over.
Yeah, what was the one for the monks? Dang, which one?
Oh, Shaolin Monks, yeah.
Dude, that was so awesome.
I like that. Me and my cousin Zach, we played through that.
We played co-op, because I love couch co-op games.
Yeah, I love that, because you just go around the map,
just
killing people, and then the boss battles happen.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the reptile one was awesome.
Yeah.
You like ripped Reptile's head off in the water. It was really cool. I love that. And then the one where you face down Goro, then Johnny Cage comes in from the side. He's like, "Wait, I got this." And he does
him right in the nuts.
Yeah, and then he does the shadow kick into his gut, and and Goro bleeds out. It's like awesome. Although there was one dumb part in that game, me and Zach actually had to pause because we were laughing so hard. That Baraka comes out and he grabs a Shaolin monk off the wall, and then gets his sword out, stabs him in the face, and jostles it around and everything, and then pulls it out, and then throws the Shaolin monk over to Liu Kang and Kung Lao as they come in. Kung Lao leans over the Shaolin monk and he goes, "Are you okay?" Guy just got a new hole put in his face. What do you think?
Oh yeah, Mike Root said DC versus Mortal Kombat. I don't even want to talk about that.
But I will talk about the Injustice games.
Okay.
The first one, pretty good. The second one, holy hell.
Yeah.
The second, Injustice 2 was just, so good. They upped everything. They revamped the character models. They did awesome work with the story, and honestly, it gave you a good quandary. We're sitting there. It's like, do I side with Superman? Do I side with Batman? It's like, because Batman's talking about this, and trying to be the better person, but at the same time, Superman is just like, all these people have done all these terrible things. They need to go away, and I'm just like, it's a hell of a quandary, and you think to yourself, who would I side with if I were in this universe?
What do you think of
always Batman?
What do you think of the latest Marvel vs. Capcom?
It was not good.
I hate it.
Infinite. Actually, if you want to know someone who was really pissed off about it, Gerard, the completionist, was super pissed because he ordered the Epic Edition that came with the Infinity.
I was excited because Mega Man X and Zero.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dude, this is going to be so sick. But you have to realize just adding good characters does not make it a good game.
Well,
when the complete story and the protagonist was just, wow, I've never seen something so basic in my life. Everything that you fought was meaningless. When you did fight here, it was just, I don't know, it was just a jumbled mess of characters thrown in there at random.
Well, it's unfortunate when you see a series that is so well loved like Marvel vs. Capcom experience a bad game, and every series goes through, I think, that section where they have a bad game or something bad happens.
Yeah.
And it alienates a lot of the player base.
Mm-hmm.
For that, it was very hard for people to admit that Infinite was not good because it looked real pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It looked real nice, but it just didn't have the same.
One of the things I've noticed about the fighting animations for the development of fighting games is they're not showing full-fledged animations. They're showing photo to photo to photo. The fight goes straight from here to here. there's no in between showing anything. Whereas Mortal Kombat shows
Everything.
detail, every motion.
Yeah.
When it punch, I mean, you really feel the impact of like when you punch the person in the face, and who does not want that in a fighting game, you know? When I played Resident Evil 4 the first time, when I shot the enemies and you see the little laser dot in their forehead, and you shoot them, and you see that with the laser dot right there, and you see the impact and the sound effects, and you just feel that nail them right in the face.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's so satisfying.
That
Yeah,
was,
it feels good.
Gears of War 1 for me.
Ah,
yes,
yes.
like,
man.
would-
First time I chainsawed
you know,
somebody.
blood,
Oh,
yeah, dude.
yes. The
And the
blood.
blood
when
came
you
on
would
the
run up
screen.
to
That
someone
was
with a
awesome.
shotgun,
That was a revolutionary moment for me. I was renting
two
it from
things.
The
Like,
two-piece.
When you would run up with a shotgun and you'd just be going like basically right at somebody and they wouldn't see you, and so you just plow at the last second and basically just go through them as they splatter to your sides. And then when you would have somebody in your sniper rifle scope and hit them in the head, and you'd see like an eyeball go flying in pieces of their skull and shit.
Yeah.
nuts.
It's like every time you got somebody, you're just like,
For me,
I'm a
Gears
big
of War
fan of
satisfying.
attention to detail when it comes to games because, I mean, to be honest, man, lots of people are paying $60 for a game. It goes back to, like
Yeah.
you said, you make a good game, it will sell.
Yeah, and
Taking shortcuts is not a good idea when it comes
No.
to AAA titles.
no, it's not. And
You're only shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
yeah, and for me, the Gears series, actually Gears of War 3, which is probably my favorite out of the series in terms of like gameplay and everything.
2 kind of killed it for me.
Two
They
was
did some
also really
things that
good.
made you have to completely relearn how to play the game, and that took part of the fun elements out of the game, and so I couldn't get back into it after that.
It's
the
fun.
campaign was still awesome. Like,
Well,
but the
I know what you mean.
multiplayer-wise-
Was it like the grenades, like the
Yeah.
sticky grenades?
One
to
of the
wall and
things
everything?
in the
I
first
like
game
that.
was you would start the match and you would charge in, and like you would have a lot of the times like dudes that like would try the same thing. So you'd have like a little duel where like you would like draw who does their shotgun faster in the beginning.
Well, yeah,
That was out once you could stick grenades to walls, because if you charge in anywhere, you're just going to blow yourself up and they're going to get a free kill.
Yeah,
And then
Gears
they gave
2
you
was my most played, I think, online
Yeah.
that I had because, I mean, it was shotgun battles. If you got really good with that shotgun battles, you could go it up.
also,
But-
if you were
awesome.
host, you had no delay to the shotgun
yeah,
blast.
that's too.
Oh, yeah.
Which
That was a
God.
problem.
Yeah,
but-
I think when it got to Gears 3, it had a lot of I can't really say balancing issues, but and there would be just certain times like with the double barrel, the maps
Oh,
weren't just laid out
God.
right. It just had a lot of functionality
the
issues.
friggin'
It
double.
was-
One of the
it played
problems with
clunky.
2
I got a
is they gave you that
quad.
flamethrower. The flamethrower could hit you behind cover.
Oh,
So they
yeah.
screwed
Yeah,
the
because it
cover
kind of went
mechanic.
around the cover and your screen kind of goes dark and that like
Well,
messes you all
well,
up.
for me in Gears 3, I got a quad with one shotgun blast. Guy came around, like a guy in his squad came around the corner. I got right in the middle of him. He hits me with like the butt of his shotgun, and then I'm just like, oh yeah, and just like
and
it was
seemed
just
like with that
nothing
double
but
barrel, I could
goop.
be from me to him and fire and it do 0 damage, but you get like an inch closer and all of a sudden it blows you in half.
Yep.
It was like, so there was that fine
It's-
line of
it-
distance, and it would really mess you up sometimes, and those rage quit moments.
Well, yeah. Well, you'd have those guys who'd like try and roll back. They roll themselves to the side. I'd roll with them, but I'd roll at an angle where I was just a little bit closer, just like blow them away with the double barrel. And I got to where I was pretty damn good with the double barrel. I was actually a friend of mine, Alan Byrne, who's actually from the UK. I was actually me and him. We went way back. We met on Gears. It was Gears of War 2. It was like 2 days in, and I was playing with a bunch of randoms, and there was this British guy on there, just talking so much shit, and I was like, tell you what, you and me, let's play a game, let's do this, and then eventually we got where we were going against each other, and I remember like he was across the map with a sniper rifle, and he popped my head, and I'm just like, ooh, sneaky boy. All right, let's do this. And then I got over behind him and pow.
It says, do they know about Steven Hillenburg yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about Steven Hillenburg.
Yeah,
that
we have heard from him. I mean,
passed away from ALS. That Lou Gehrig's disease, ladies and gentlemen, that is a shitty disease. It is truly shitty. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I'm not. I know this is blasphemous to say.
You're not a SpongeBob fan?
I don't watch SpongeBob. I can't say I'm not a fan.
That's fine.
I know who it is. Its impact, but it was not my generation of cartoon, so I didn't grow up with it. My little brother watched it a lot growing up, and there from there, I seen it is a very entertaining show. And,
It is. It is.
But I think it's sad to say when any great or memorial artist, passes away, because it's, that's his impact to the world that's left behind. And I think a lot of people's got to remember him. I don't think he's not going to go a time in future history that he's not remembered, So
True. And I'm hoping that I'm hoping that a lot of people see the see SpongeBob and they are reminded of just like how much joy he brought, because he was really heavily involved with the show for like the first 5 years of it. And a lot of people say that's the golden age of it.
I think so
was.
too.
Dude,
when I've seen every
I
episode,
fucking
I've seen
love
those.
Patrick.
Yeah.
He is by and
It's a
large.
giraffe.
Nah, come on, SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, what are you doing? I'm sorry, hold on. SpongeBob, what are you doing? Like, can't you see I'm sitting here trying to play the clarinet?
You're good. You're good. You're good. God damn.
And also the bubbles is just like, it's like, hi Patrick. It's weird stuff, but honestly, it's funny. I thought it was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. And also, I remember when they went to like the bottom of the ocean, and they had the bus that took them down there, and everyone spoke in a weird accent, and no one could understand them unless they actually spoke in that accent too. In which it was SpongeBob was just like, I need a ticket back to the surface. It was like, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you. And then SpongeBob was just like, oh, okay. Hello, I'm sorry, I need a new ticket. And the guy's like, oh, I couldn't understand you because of that accent. Actually, the last bus just is leaving. Oh, when? Right now. And then he looks and the bus is just gone. And SpongeBob's just like, no! It's like chases after it. It's like really good.
It's like the
It's been
sloth
a long
from
time
the
since I watched
DMV
them ago.
and Zootopia.
So yeah, but I've just so much has been happening over these last couple weeks, and just the fact that y'all are. I mean, I'm still blown away that y'all are just chilling with us on here and having fun and
Just chilling out.
just
for sure, man.
just chillaxing,
Dude,
my
like
man.
I said,
This guy I see.
I'm enjoying
Lord.
this.
He says Rockstar69 says, how many PS1 classics do you think will be sold? My guess is 25. So did anybody
Cryptic OP
see
says
what
my guess is
games they
37.
chose to put on the PlayStation 1 Classic?
Not really good.
No, like a lot of games that a lot of people haven't even heard of. And
Is Soviet Strike in there?
I'm not exactly sure.
That was my first ever game.
Oh, I can bring up
Soviet
the
Strike.
list, but there was no Mega Mans. All right, no Spyro. Let's see what Crash Bandicoot. No, wasn't even on there. Resident Evil.
Any Final Fantasy on there?
I'm not even sure. I'm almost going to pull up the
Well,
list on
Final
that.
Fantasy 7 would be the one that you would think they would put on there.
So actually, the funny thing is, I think Nintendo didn't do this deliberately. Maybe they did. I don't know. But a lot of the NES Classic and the SNES Classics are actually open for you to put on there pretty much whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And I did that. I actually put like all the games on there. I got everything from like Mega Man X to Secret of Mana and stuff like that. Oh, and I've got all them on there, and they're like free to play whenever. It's just like, all right, let's do it. Because I remember when I started it up, I was just like, wow, so many games on here. And Ben's just like, watch this. And then he hooks it up to my PC, and he's just like, all right, add that, add that, add that, add that, fuck that, add that, add fuck that. No. Add that, okay. And then he starts it up. He's just like,
So you
go
did
ahead.
have Final Fantasy 7.
You do?
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
I mean, I'm reading this thing on here. It's
That's
saying,
good.
but,
At least that's good. That's
Resident Evil Director's Cut.
which is
a good one.
pretty good.
Maybe. Yeah, but there's. I mean, you can read a lot of different articles on there. I can't really say that it's not worth buying because they only make one of these, and for collectability purposes, not bad purchase, I guess. But as far as if you're planning on playing it,
Oh, I don't really plan on playing it.
Yeah,
It's just like me. I have my SNES Classic, and I've got it boxed up.
It's boxed up, not even opened.
Yeah, same here.
Because you gotta think I've had these emulators in my consoles and stuff for like 15, 20 years now.
Yeah,
it's
it's just like you've got the Wii
whoa.
that's got all the stuff on it
the
too.
homebrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, homebrew. It's good stuff. So, yeah, we're almost approaching
they put
our.
Metal Gear Solid on there apparently. So
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's a plus.
Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy VII and Twisted Metal are on there.
Well, which
Okay.
In my
which
opinion, that's
Twisted
good
Metal
enough.
though?
The first one.
Wow, of course.
Wait,
Yeah,
2.
like 3 is, I think, arguably the best one that's on there because of the Rob Zombie soundtrack.
Actually, it's
Which,
4. That's 4.
Well, he has Rob Zombie, the Hillbilly Deluxe, and was on 3, which R1, R1, L1, 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 L1.
Here's the
Infinite
problem.
special for
There you go.
3, and actually,
somebody
Oddworld
said,
Abe's Odyssey is on there too.
Cryptic Op said, I thought Stephen Hawking died from loss of internet connection.
Oh.
No, the AI.
Oh, yeah. Very nice. That's
yeah.
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth for
So,
Twisted Metal
just so
3.
everyone knows, if you decide to play Metal Gear Solid on your PlayStation Classic, come to PlayStation's website and look at the list of games whenever you get to the point in the game where they tell you to look on the back of the CD case. Because you're not going to have a CD case, but they did put that image for Metal Gear Solid on there. So there you go.
Huh.
There's the codec number.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. Because I was about to say, here's the problem is you're not going to have a CD case when you get to that point in Metal Gear Solid, so you're going to have to look it up online or something.
Yep.
Oh,
But
gosh.
they actually put it there on
There's
that
a lot of
one, so that's
information
pretty cool.
that they used to put in the boxes for these games and stuff, too.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when I was
Yeah.
a kid, I'd be in the back seat, buy a game from Software Etc. I'm sorry, it's GameStop now. I'd take that off and I'd be reading I'd have the controls
same here.
memorized
Same here.
and all the information memorized before I'd even get home to play it.
Yeah.
And nowadays you don't get anything but a promo code on
I remember the little
getting
booklets.
XP. Yeah.
Remember the little booklets that had like the character bios and stuff in there and everything?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool. Awesome.
Oh yeah, like
oh,
the
she's
art.
hot.
I used to get
oh my
caught, I
God.
used to get caught drawing off the booklets. Like I'd have the booklet in school drawing the characters growing up in school
Nice.
and get them taken away. And how they don't even come with art.
Oh
As
God.
you see, like Call of Duty Black Ops 4, there pretty much is no art. It's
It's
big beefy character, man.
it's
Saw.
like yeah, we're big and we're tough. Yeah, we're
I mean, the only thing about Black Ops 4 is I've been enjoying PUBG for so
But
long.
it's clipped in there.
Oh, I see it.
But I always wish they would fix PUBG, and at least with Black Ops 4 they fixed it.
4 pose real quick before we go. All right.
Okay.
Talk about gun safety. This is gun safety.
This
is your Call of Duty.
right there.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 art right here. Just
Right there,
except
boy.
a big muscular man. And
Very
yeah.
You accidentally pull the trigger and then
My
you're
problem
deaf
is I
forever
got
in
my
that
finger
ear.
straighten off the trigger. Call of Duty keeps it on the trigger at all times.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you do it in all the action
Trigger
movies.
discipline,
and all
rookie. Trigger discipline, rook.
Here you go. I will give
Only
this
real experts can do
to
that.
its owner. Here we go.
Yeah.
Give us your best Black Ops
Shit.
pose if
Hit
we
my-
don't knock them
hit
out.
my
All right.
mic, so I get it.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you my best Black Ops pose.
Damn it, I'm hitting my mic. I'm sorry, people.
Go ahead. Stuff your mic to the
Butcher
side.
the mic.
Yeah. Yeah, tilt it sideways.
Sideways to look cool.
No, you got to hold it by the magazine, man.
Yeah.
You're not doing
Oh, yeah.
that.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Here we go. Easy.
It's
Let
heavy.
me. Here we go. Oh, sorry.
I wonder. I'm gonna ask the audience this: has anybody ever noticed on Black Ops or actually any of the Call of Duty games when they're sprinting, their head never moves?
It didn't bounce or anything.
Their head does not bounce; it stays perfectly straight, and their shoulders move like this, but their head is like on a gimbal. Like I mean, so I think it's got to do with the way they have the camera asphyxiated to the
Yeah.
skeletal mesh of the 3D model.
Yeah.
That they want the camera to move smooth, so the whole body will move like in full
round
motion,
the
but
head.
their head just stays perfectly still. So it's like they're swimming while they're running.
Actually,
I mean-
funny enough, there's actually. I remember that there was an error in one of the Battlefield games. Here you go, Nick. You do a battle. You do a
Yeah, give us your
pose.
best Battlefield
Your Black Ops
or your
4
Black
pose.
Ops Call of Duty
Yeah.
pose.
So
Nah, that's. Oh yeah, at least your fingers on it too.
And I'm pointing it straight at his face.
Yep. Gun safety. Gun safety.
Exactly.
So yeah, for me, I can't. God, what was we talking about again? I lost track of everything. There you go.
Yeah, that's about it. Right?
That's it right there. Finger on the trigger, man. Finger on the trigger.
Because none of these well-trained Special Forces, Delta Force ops are ever trained in gun safety.
Hey, it goes marksmanship, strength, endurance, and super rules of cool.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the rules of cool. Freaking rules of cool. There you go.
Weapon safety. That's an
yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shell casings will just fly right out on top of your head.
Yeah.
Wonder how long it'll be until we get like what they had in Edge of Tomorrow, or like the shoulder mounted type weapon.
Oh, those.
The
I don't know.
exoskeleton
They,
mounted
they're
weapons.
actually going to have those in Doom Eternal.
Like
That's going to be
if
awesome.
you look at Apache helicopter, like the technology with the helmets, all they have to do while they're piloting is turn their head and look, and they fire the trigger.
That big ass 30mm gun.
Yeah, and that's actually not even new technology. That's pretty old now. Yeah, if you're having that,
they're doing that with like
something
the
mobile.
F-35s, too.
But like something mobile that someone can like have on their shoulder, like Predator, like a Predator.
Oh yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Yep.
All right.
That would be pretty cool.
All right, well,
All right. Well, yeah, that's time. Wow, that's actually time out right there. So here you go. I'll hand this back to y'all.
Put this back on. It's.
you're gonna have to get up and do it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it.
No way you're
good.
cool about that.
But
You're good.
look at that.
Unload this thing. That's bad boy. I don't know how to.
There's no
I wish there was. This, but it's okay. It's okay.
This is what I would imagine, like like the bolt gun in Fear.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine that would look like.
Oh,
like something that actually fires
The
like,
penetrator.
big ass bolts, dude. That'd be such a fucking cool weapon.
It's kind of like the auger in friggin' Resistance: Fall of Man.
Yeah. I see what you're talking about, though. I played through Fear again during October this year.
Oh, yeah.
Stream.
That's,
I remember. I was like, I forgot about this gun. You freaking stake dudes to walls with it.
Oh, I had to load
I
this.
enjoyed the paranormal stuff in the first one, but they gradually it sucks they gradually got away with that.
Yeah. For me, Dead Space 2, it actually
I
became
love
really
Dead Space.
important for you to like tear the get spikes or like tear the like the tendrils
limbs
off
and
of the
stuff.
monsters and like pin people to walls with them. I always thought that was really freaking cool.
Yeah, it's always better to take the legs off. But
Yep.
well, I think we have reached our time limit. For
Yes, we
today,
have,
and,
ladies and gentlemen, an hour and a
appreciate
half.
everybody that has joined us and listening to us ramble today on
Absolutely.
Renegades Ramble. And thank you guys for coming and joining
Hey,
us.
thank you for
Yeah.
y'all for
Thanks
having
for
us
having
up,
us.
man. It's always awesome to have y'all like us coming up here and y'all tolerating us for as long as you do.
so.
Yeah, we're not tolerating this. I'm enjoying the hell out of this. So.
Well, for everyone out there tuning in, we appreciate it. If you want to watch more Renegades Ramble, we will have a playlist up probably by the end of the day that will have this one and the one we did last week. So here's to hoping. And I guess until next time, signing off.
Love you.
Peace.
Bye.
See ya.